जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जनवल्लभा यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन यशोदानन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन आनन्दन यशोदानन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरावन चारी यमुना तीरावन चारी यमुना जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Jaya Radha Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladev Mai Subhadra Jaya Sudarshana Jaya जय सुदर्शना जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय श्री मथुरा धाम की जय पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय श्री नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय श्री कोलकाता धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय यमुना माई की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय कलयुग पावन श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय ऑल पावरफुल हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी ऑल ग्लोरी टू द assembled devotees all glory to the assembled devotees all glory to the assembled devotees ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सताम् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी तदा रजस्तमो भाव कामलोभादयश्च ये चेतयेतैरनाविद्धं स्थितं सत्त्वे प्रसीदति एवं प्रसन्नमनसो भगवद्भक्तियोगतः भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते भिद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिश्छिद्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषय क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि दृष्ट एवात्मनीश्वरे यतो वै कवयो नित्यं भक्तिं परमयामुदा वासुदेवे भगवती कुर्वन्त्यात्मा प्रसादनीम् English is okay? So we're reading from Canto 10, chapter 88, verse 6, 6 to 8. So I think we'll repeat the verse 8 and 6 and 7. Nivritte ashva medheshu raja yasmat pitamaha shrinvan bhagavato dharman aprichadnidamachyutam. Translation is, your grandfather, King Yudhishthira, after completing his Ashwamedha sacrifices, asked Lord Achyuta this very same question while hearing the Lord's explanation of religious principles. Verse 7, again Canto 10, chapter 88, verse 7. Sa aha bhagavams tasmai pritah shushru shave prabhu nirnam nishreyasarthaya yovatirno yadohukule. Translation. This question pleased Sri Krishna, the King's Lord and Master, who had descended into the family of Yadu for the purpose of bestowing the highest good on all men. The Lord replied as follows, as the king eagerly listened. Verse 8, this is going to be our primary verse today. Very famous verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yasyaham Anugrinami Harishye Tadhanam Shane Tato Dhanam Tajjat Asya Jayam Tajjantas Swajana Dukkha Dukkhitam. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yasyaham Anugrinami Harishye Tadhanam Shane Tato Dhanam Tajjante Asya Swajana Dukkha Dukkhitam. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yasyaham Anugrinami Harishye Tadhanam Shane Tato Dhanam Tajjante Asya Swajana Dukkha Dukkhitam. Bhagavan Uvacha Dhanam Shane Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yasam Anugrinami Isse Tadhanam Shane Dojanam Tajjantyasya Dojana Dukkha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Isse Tadhanam Shane Dojanam Tajjantasya. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the personality of God had said, Yasya, whom, Aham, I, Anugrinami, favor, Harishye, I will take away, Tat, his, Dhanam, wealth, Shanay, gradually, Tataha, then, adhanam, poor, tyajanti, abandon, asya, swajanay, relatives and friends, dukkha dukkhitam, who suffers one distress after another. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The personality of Godhead said, if I especially favor someone, I gradually deprive him of his wealth. Then the relatives and friends of such a poverty-stricken man abandon him. In this way, he suffers one distress after another. Report. Devotees of the Supreme Lord experience both happiness and distress, not as consequences of material work, but as incidental effects of their loving reciprocation with the Lord. Srila Rupa Goswami in Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, his definitive treatise on the process of devotional service, explains how a Vaishnava is relieved of all karmic reactions, including those that have not yet begun to manifest a prarabdha, those that are just about to manifest kuta, those that are barely manifesting bija, and those who have manifested fully prarabdha. As a lotus gradually loses its many petals, so a person who takes shelter of devotional service has all his karmic reactions destroyed. That devotional service to Lord Krishna eradicates all karmic reactions is confirmed in the passage of the Gopal Tapani Shruti, devotion, which translates as, devotional service is the process of worshipping the Supreme Lord. It consists of fixing the mind upon Him by becoming disinterested in all material designations, both in this life and in the next. It results in the dissolution of all karma. While it is certainly true that those who practice devotional service remain in material bodies and apparently material situations for some time, this is simply an expression of the inconceivable mercy of the Lord, who bestows the fruits of devotion only when it has become pure. In every stage of devotion, however, the Lord watches over His devotee and sees to the gradual elimination of his karma. Thus, despite the fact that the happiness and distress devotees experience resemble ordinary karmic reactions, they are in fact given by the Lord Himself. As the Bhagavatam 10.87-40 states, Bhavat Uttha Shubha Shabhayo. A mature devotee recognizes the superficially good and bad situations. Mark the word, superficially good and bad situations he encounters as signs of the direct guidance of the ever well-wishing Lord. But if the Lord is so compassionate to His devotees, why does He expose them to special suffering? This is answered by an analogy. A very affectionate father takes the responsibility of restricting his children's play and making them go to school. He knows that there is a genuine expression of His love for that. This is the genuine expression of His love for them, even if the children fail to understand. Similarly, the Supreme Lord Vishnu is mercifully strict with all His dependents, not only with immature devotees struggling to become qualified. Even perfect saints like Prahlad, Dhruva, and Yudhishthira were subject to great tribulations and all for their glorification. After the battle of Kurukshetra, Sri Bhishmadev described to King Yudhishthira his wonder at this. How wonderful is the influence of inevitable time. It is irreversible. Otherwise, how can there be reverses? In the presence of King Yudhishthira, the son of the demigod controlling religion, Bhima, the great fighter with a club, the great bowman Arjuna with his mighty weapon Gandiva, and above all the Lord, the direct well-wisher of the Pandavas. O King, no one can know the plan of the Lord Sri Krishna. Even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. Although a Vaishnava's happiness and distress are felt as pleasure and pain, just like ordinary karmic reactions, they are different in a significant sense. Material happiness and distress arising from karma leave a subtle residue, the seed of future entanglement. Such enjoyment and suffering tend towards degradation and increase the danger of falling into hellish oblivion. Happiness and distress generated from the Supreme Lord's distress, however, leave no trace after their immediate purpose has been served. Moreover, the Vaishnava who enjoys such reciprocation with the Lord is in no danger of falling down into nescience. As Yamaraj, the Lord of Death and the Judge of all departed souls, declares, "My dear servants, please bring to me only those sinful persons who do not use their tongues to chant the holy name and qualities of Krishna, whose hearts do not remember the lotus feet of Krishna even once, and whose heads do not bow down even once before Lord Krishna. Send me those who do not perform their duties towards Vishnu, which are the only duties in human life. Please bring me all such fools and rascals. Bhagavatam 6:3-29. The beloved devotees of the Lord do not regard as very troublesome the suffering he imposes on them. Indeed, they find that in the end it gives rise to unlimited pleasure, just as a stinging ointment applied by a physician cures his patient's infected eye. In addition, suffering helps protect the confidentiality of devotional service by discouraging intrusions by the faithless, and it also increases the eagerness with which the devotees call upon the Lord to appear. If the devotees of Lord Vishnu were complacently happy all the time, he would never have a reason to appear in this world as Krishna, Ramachandra, Narsimha, and so on. As Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushritam dharma samstharpanathaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To deliver the pious and annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. And without the Lord's showing himself on earth in his original form of Krishna and in the forms of various incarnations, his faithful servants in this world would have no opportunity to enjoy his Ras Lila and other pastimes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur here counters a possible objection. What fault would there be in God's incarnating for some other reason than to deliver saintly persons from suffering? The learned Acharya responds, yes, my dear brother, this makes good sense, but you are not expert in understanding spiritual moods. Please listen, it is at night that the sunrise becomes attractive. During the hot summer, that cold water gives comfort, and during the cold winter months, that warm water is pleasing. Lamplight appears attractive in darkness, not in the glaring light of day, and when one is distressed by hunger, food tastes especially good. In other words, to strengthen his devotees' mood of dependence on him and longing for him, the Lord arranges for his devotees to go through some suffering, and when he appears in order to deliver them, their gratitude and transcendental pleasure are boundless. Om Agyantimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Premo Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaur Tvishe Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Prishthaya Bhutale Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschat Deshataya. Very grateful for the most blessed opportunity to be able to speak to the devotees here at Shri Shri Radha Govind Mandir in Kolkata Dham. Extremely unqualified, to say the least, but the mercy of the devotees can pull anybody up, so I am here. And please forgive me for anything that I may say which would be inappropriate, and You can correct me either during the class or after the class. My name is Balaram Lila Das, and have the great pleasure and privilege to be working at the Bhaktivedanta Research Center, and as you know, which is right here, close by, about 15 minutes away from the Kolkata temple. Started by Harishori Prabhu and Pranama Prabhu in 2009, and acting as a library research center and academic institute, which is essentially serving globally the ISKCON, right here from the headquarters of Kolkata. Hare Krishna. So today is actually the disappearance day of Srimad Madhavacharya, who is one of the most, you can say, prominent revolutionary acharyas in our sampradaya, because ours is Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So I'll speak a little bit about Madhvacharya, and then about the Bhagavatam verse. Srimad Madhva, in fact, it very interestingly relates also to this. Srimad Madhvacharya is, we all know, in the 12th to 13th century, he was there about 1,000 years ago, about 900 years ago maybe. And he was born in Madhvacharya. Srimad Madhvacharya was born in the Pajaka Kshetra, which is close to Udupi Dham in Karnataka. In fact, he was called by various names. When he was born, he was called as Vasudev by his parents. Then, when he actually took sannyas, at what age? At the age of, I think everybody here probably, everybody in ISKCON would have taken sannyas much later, 8 years. He took sannyas at the age of 8 years, it is said. His name is Purna Pragya, which was given at that time. And then he get another 3 names at least. One name was Ananda Tirtha. Purna Pragya means one who gives full knowledge, actually has full knowledge. Ananda Tirtha, one who is a Tirtha, the residue of all Ananda. Another name for Madhvacharya ji was Anuman Tirtha. Why Anuman Tirtha? Because actually Madhvacharya gave the supremely best logic. He was so good at logic. In fact, he called his philosophy of Madhvacharya is called as Dvaitavad, but it's also called as, he called it as Tattvavad, which means logic which is based on reality. It's arguments based on reality, Tattva. So he was so good at logic. And he used that logic for a very important purpose, which we know, which we will come to. And also his another name was Samanvaya Tirtha. Samanvaya Tirtha means he could bring harmony to all kinds of so-called, we may see differences within the Shastra. So he could harmonize, right? We see, it said like this, he said like that there, then how do you harmonize it? So he could do that. Very interestingly, he himself called himself actually as Hari Karya Sadhaka. It's an interesting verse. That's a very, very wonderful name. Some things I will stress which we can remember. One thing is we can remember, he called himself or the devotees as Hari Karya Sadhaka. So what is a devotee? Hari Karya Sadhaka. That means devotee is here to do something. What is that? Hari Karya. Devotee is supposed to toil, to fight towards, give his life towards doing what? Hari Karya. Do the work of the Lord, do the mission of the Lord. Right? Hare Krishna mission. So devotee is supposed to work for that. This is coming from Madhvacharya. So he actually wrote many, many books. More than, at least, I said, he wrote at least 37 books. They've all been compiled into one big book also. And many of our acharyas Jiva Goswami, others, they took so much from the writings of Madhvacharya. They were actually, so many verses he quoted, this other thing. He was a disciple of, he took initiation once and from Maharishi Vyas himself, as we know, at Badrinath. So he was, and forgot to say that he was the third incarnation of Vayu, which is mentioned in the Vedas, and he himself quoted that. The first incarnation of Vayu is Hanumanji. Second incarnation, Bhima. And third incarnation is mentioned as Ananda Tirtha, which is Madhvacharya himself. And there were many brilliant, so scholarly acharyas, etc., which came in the line. And then Baladev Vidyabhushan was actually from Madhva Sampradaya first. And then Baladev Vidyabhushan in his Govinda Bhashya first salutes Madhvacharya. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, they quote Madhvacharya so much, left, right and center. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur translated many books of Madhvacharya, Madhva Sampradaya. So we have to remember we are in this Sampradaya. But Bhakti Vinod Thakur gave a very good explanation. He said that Madhva Sampradaya was like a bud. He is giving that example. It's like a bud. Bud matlab kali. It's like a bud. And Gaudiya Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and blossomed the bud. So that's the example Bhakti Vinod Thakur. It's a bud and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blossomed the bud. So that is the Madhva Sampradaya and So we are the same, because sometimes you may hear certain things which are not correct in any way, that ours is a different Sampradaya. It's not. Ours is not a fifth Sampradaya. It's part of the Madhva Sampradaya. Otherwise, there are these things, Mahaprabhu started a new Sampradaya. No. It's the fourth Sampradaya, only Madhva Sampradaya. And it was like a bud and Mahaprabhu blossomed it. Like that. Just like Vallabhacharya blossomed the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya. Like that. And now comes to how we relate it to today. It's a very interesting that today that we have this. This particular verse that he had given me, the Gopikant Prabhu ordered me to speak on. So this relates to this. So Madhvacharya, what was his primary thing? What was his primary mission? Anybody? Quickly. What is this? What was he? He was a Bhima. What was he? To just defeat Mayavad. Smash! As they said, Mayavad. He just smashed Mayavad. It is said that, Shankaracharya ji came and he said that there is no Advaita, there is no Bheda, right? And he said, everywhere there is Bheda, 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 Bheda. He said Bheda 5 times. It's called his Pancham Bheda. Pancham Bheda. Why? Because Bhagwan is different from Jiva. Okay, next. Bhagwan is different from Prakriti. Okay, next. Jiva is different from Prakriti. Next. Jiva is different from another Jiva. Not the same. Prakriti is different from Prakriti. Haribol, Jai. He just banged upon the fact that it is Dvaita. That's why he didn't, in his philosophy, doesn't mention other philosophies are Visheshta Dvaita, Shuddha Dvaita, 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 right? And Madhvacharya's philosophy is Dvaita, no Advaita, like that. So he is very, very strong in that, basically. So this is one thing which Mahaprabhu liked a lot. You know this? Maya bhasha shune hoile sarvanash. And second thing he liked is the worship of the personal form of the deity. So if you see, in both of these aspects is defeating impersonalism and establishing personalism, bhakti. This was Madhvacharya. It's very amazing how these acharyas, the incarnations have come. It was just my small feeling while reading this or hearing about Madhvacharya. They have come to save us, and then how it built one after the other. How Madhvacharya, and then built on that, based on that is Gaudiya Vaishnavacharyas, other acharyas. They have built up based on that. So finally we have something on which we can base our lives, otherwise what to do in this world. Without all these Acharyas coming, how grateful we have to be that Vayudev has incarnated, who was Hanumanji, and Bhima has now come as Madhvacharya, took initiation from Vyasadeva directly to bless this world, to bless me personally, to take it personally. I have the opportunity to be able to do so. So, we will take clue from Srimad Madhvacharya today. Is that okay? To do the discussion today. Prabhupada says in one of the verses, actually, in one of the letters, that we should try to speak the philosophy in our own words also. And that way, we will be able to absorb it much better. So, with the kind blessings, Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Jana and difficulties, I will try to present some things in my own words. Futa, whatever, some words like that. So, we will talk about how in this particular verse, actually, it's a very famous verse. Everybody would have heard this thing. Maybe it doesn't look like a very happy verse, does it? I give suffering personally, like that. So, let's dissect this more, okay, and carve out the ecstasy from it. We can do that. So, Mayavad was essentially impersonalism, was essentially destroyed, let's say, by Madhvacharya, right? So, in today's session, in the next 20 minutes or so, let's destroy impersonalism. Are you ready? Let's destroy impersonalism. So, I have come up with a small acronym, and it's called GOPI. Gopi, okay? Gopi means, we all know who gopis are, the top. We are supposed to follow them. So let's try to follow the acronym GOPI, which is go personal intricately. Go personal. You know what it means? Go do this, like become that, right? Become like that, right? So go personal, but deeply, intricately, intimately, infinitely, GOPI. Is that okay? Go personal. If you read Prabhupada's books, what is he talking about most of the time? We all personalism, defeating, right? All the time. Same Madhvacharya. Beating all the time. Now the thing is, we think that, I am defeating the impersonalists. We are trying to defeat the impersonalists. But my understanding, at least definitely for myself, is I finally figuring out that who is the impersonalist? That's me. I am that impersonalist. Deeper within, I am that impersonalist. Because I am not realizing that here is a person, Krishna. Deeply within all the time, in all circumstances, everywhere, all the time. He is there as a person, as a deity, etc., or any time in my life. He is there as a person, not as a power, not that, okay, Bhagwan hai, that's it. No, as a person, means with all his personal qualities, his personal desires, everything. As a person, he is always there. So let's see what that actually means. If Krishna as a person is there first, if we try to see anything that we see in life outside. So we don't see Krishna, right? Generally we don't see Krishna. I mean, okay, as the deities we are seeing Krishna, but we don't see Krishna, right? But we come to the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. What is it? Purushottam Yoga. So in Purushottam Yoga, Purush, what is that? Purush is person, right? Let's say, translated as the supreme person, the man, but means basically the person Krishna. So here he is saying, what does he say there? He says that if you can't understand me at all, at least remember that you see the sun every day, right? You see the sun. You see the sun? Yes, I see the sun. Okay. That's me. I am providing it. Isn't he say that? I am providing that sun. And he says, you breathe the air, I am providing the air. He also says that, Rasoham, not the Rasoham, that's water. And he also says, I provide the the rasa in the vegetables. In the 15th chapter, he says, I find the rasa in the vegetables. I am providing you the food. So while I am seeing these things, do I remember the person behind it? Do I see, oh, here's come, oh, who has brought up this sun? What miracle is that? A disk has come up in the sky which is lighting the whole world. One disk is lighting the whole world. Who has brought this thing up? Who is that? What power is that? No, not just what power is that. Who is that person? Who is that person? Who is the powerful who has brought all of this? So I'm seeing behind. So just hearing a Prabhupada lecture, he says, you see the cloth and you only see the cloth. People see only the cloth. But then somebody who's smart, who tries to see smartness is you can see behind, right? Is it true? The smart guy, the mature guy can see behind. Well, that's what it appears like, but I know what's behind that. Is that true or not? That's the smartness. That's called smartness, isn't it? They can see between the lines, as they say. Read between the lines, see behind the scenes. That's a smart person. So he can see, the smart person can actually see behind. Oh, that's a cloth. And then behind there is the thread. Behind the thread there is cotton. Behind the cotton is the cotton flower from which it has come. Behind the cotton flower is the tree which it came from. And behind the tree is the seed which it came from. Then the seed came from another tree, which came from another seed, which came from another tree, like that. But what is the original seed? Bijoham sarvabhutanam. So can I see that seed in everything? And if I see you also, can I see, oh, here is Krishna also. He is Krishna's child. But here is Krishna. He is, Krishna is there as a Paramatma, but he is coming from Krishna. I can see Krishna also, who is behind you. I can see. And he is Krishna's child in front of me. How do I have to behave with him? How do I have to react with him? Can I see that? That's a person, right? And I can remember Krishna as a person. मतलब वो देख रहे हैं और अगर कुछ गड़बड़ किया तो खत्म, right? Isn't it true? If the father was standing right behind, or can you do something wrong? Or if the lady is there, the husband is there behind, would you do something wrong? No, because you're seeing. It's a vision. So the main point is, am I seeing him? So one time Prabhupada was asked actually by one of our primary Shiksha disciples in Seattle, Washington, where I spent 15 years, was His Holiness Harivilas Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada disciple, GBC emeritus now. And he one time asked Srila Prabhupada directly, Prabhupada, I have never seen anybody who bashes the scientists like you do. Now the interesting thing is, that is like almost bhuto na bhavishyati. Even after that, you never see anybody bashing the scientists, other than Prabhupada's followers. Do you see anybody bashing scientists? It has never happened. As if they are like beyond. Is it not? But Prabhupada is bashing them like anything. Is that true? So what did Prabhupada say? Prabhupada pierced into his eyes. Maharaj is saying that he pierced into his eyes really. He said, do you know why? And he said, yes, I do. Do you know why? As obviously, what could he say? He said, because I know Krishna is behind everything. So Prabhupada had a simple reason to bash the scientists. Because he knew Krishna is behind everything. That's it. So whoever says or declines that, right, and tries to propose anything, he will bash them. He will bash them. So similarly, we just want to see that Krishna is behind everything that happens. That's it. Anything and everything like that. Okay? So that's the first point which I'm saying. Now, come to things coming into our life, right? That's what we're talking about. Things coming into my life in this verse. Right? What happens, things coming into my life, situations come into my life, etc. Somebody said something bad. I lost money, I lost this, I lost people, this and other things like that. So an atheist, he would think that here's the hierarchy you can think of. An atheist would think that this is all random, right? It's random. why did I lose this? Why did I lose this money? Why did I lose this, right? Right, isn't it? That's an atheist. A better person than that is he thinks that there is a system because of which this happened. Right? That's a higher person. He can see, well, there is a system because of which this would have happened. Okay, he may think that, but in this case the system became unjust. It was not the right system. He may think that way. But he may at least think that that's a higher than that. Higher than that is, he thinks it's a system, but he understands it's a just system. Although I've been beaten up here, things have been taken away from me, etc., but it's still a just system. Okay? So that's higher. Do you see the hierarchy now? Random, unjust system, or just system. But higher than that would be, if you think that it's not just a system, it's a person behind the system. That's what we are talking about. Krishna is talking about. And that, in fact, is Krishna consciousness. What is Krishna consciousness? Like Prabhupada says in that lecture also. Krishna consciousness, you can see Krishna behind. That's it. If you can't see Krishna, you are Krishna unconscious. Haribol. It's not KC, KUC. So you can choose to be KC or KUC. So you can see Krishna behind or not. That's it. It's very simple. It's not a complex philosophy. Prabhu, I cannot understand. It's too complex. What's so complex about that? Like Prabhupada said, what is so difficult? What is the difficulty? What's the difficulty? He's behind it all. हो गया, खत्म हो गया. आपने कुछ पढ़ा भी नहीं है. You never studied anything. You're illiterate. In our home in Mumbai, actually we have a caretaker for my uncle. And 24 hours caretaker. He's Muslim. And he's illiterate. He cannot even read numbers. Cannot even read numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. But when we do some katha and all, he understands, he follows, he can relate. Although he's not even from the same religion. So you don't have to be literate. I had this experience directly. These are simple things you can understand. Krishna is behind. Ho gaya, khatam ho gayi baat. That's it. Now the point is, what kind of a person is Krishna? Here's the question. It's an important question. What kind of a person is Krishna? So Krishna says, Purush Uttama, not Purush. There's a Purush behind it all. There is this person behind it. That's one thing. But here is this person behind it. So who is this person? That is the good question, right? Purush Uttama, Purush Uttama. So what is the qualities of Purush Uttama? If we keep talking about it, we can go on forever like Anant Shesh with thousands of mouths, right? But what is the Purush Uttama? Swarat, Abhigya. He is perfectly capable. There is no power he doesn't have. Haribol. Anybody like that here? Anybody in this world? All power he has. He's all-knowing. Abhigya. Antar Bahiravasi. He's stood within and outside. He knows everything. And the most importantly, he's the most loving. There you go. Haribol. Most loving. Most capable, most knowing, and most loving person. There you go. No limits to that. No limits to that. Christianity also says that. His way is perfect. God's way is perfect. So simple way to say Supreme Personality of Godhead is perfect person. What do you think? Perfect person? That's it. He is a perfect person. Now that perfect person has a purpose behind him. He has a purpose that he wants to achieve. Because he is a person, right? So person is not going to be a machine. ठीक है, सब कुछ चल रहा है as a system. No. He has a purpose. What is his purpose? There's only one problem in this world. A broken relationship between people and Krishna. No, let's make it personal. Between me and Krishna. This is the only problem of this world. Haribol. That's it. There's no other problem. There's no other problem in this world. The only problem is the broken relationship. Because of whom? Because of me. 100% responsibility on me. Not on the other side. Otherwise, typically in relationships, उसकी कुछ गलती है, इसकी कुछ गलती है, ऐसा चलता है ना? Some mistake here, some mistake there. But here, all mistake is mine. I broke that relationship. Now, what is to be done? Krishna is wanting to mend that relationship. That is his only purpose. For that purpose, he will do anything and everything. And for that purpose, he will bring good into my life, he will bring bad into my life, he will bring this, that, you name it. Because he is so particular about it. But he is particular to the extent that I want it also. Otherwise he will wait. Otherwise he will wait. He will wait, okay, ठीक है, देखते हैं. You know, if we because we don't want, right? But ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyaham. If we connect with him as a person, then he will connect with us as a person. So what things are happening to me are atmakritam vipakam, like the verse says. They are happening because of my bad. But in case of the person who doesn't connect with Krishna as a person, for them Krishna's system acts and the karma is acting. But in our case, Krishna says, oh well, you connecting with me as a person, I'll connect with you as a person. Let me take all your karma in my hand. I'll take all your karma in my hand, and now I will do whatever it takes to it. I will minimize it. I will do this, that, everything in your life I am going to mend and control. Do we understand this? Now that's the point. This is in every single second, every single situation, everything is personally presented to be my Krishna, although he may not appear. So yasyaham anugrinnami tarishyam tada. Life has only two things. One, mercy and supreme mercy. Mercy and supreme mercy. No third option for a devotee. Only mercy is happening or super mercy is happening. That's it. Mercy, good things are happening. Oh, good, all good. Super mercy, bad things are happening. Things are being taken away, this and like that. That's it. This is it. This is life. Did anything bad happen to me in my life? No. Can anything bad happen to my life? No. Why? Because it's coming from the perfect person. Why? Because he's most capable, he's all-knowing, he's all-loving. Nothing can go beyond him, right? So how can anything bad happen to me? Hari Bol. That's it. So this is it. He is saying, oh, I'm taking this away, this other thing. But actually, he would do nothing which is negative in that sense. Because all of this is so. What happens is, in fact, why does he then take something away? He could have just stopped all the karma because he wants us to become better, right? Like the Prabhupada gave that example also. Because we are still impure. We have not connected with him. So sometimes the father has to become strict. Take away something, then this guy line pe aayega thoda sa. He'll become little bit, right? Tabhi thoda dimag thoda thikane aayega. Usko he needs a little slap or a pat. So he'll do slap and pat combination in the best way possible. So Kunti Maharani is praying for what? Distress, the slaps to come in life. So anybody ready for that? Anybody wants to pray for that? We may not do that. We may not be able to do that. But we can do one thing. We can do something different. We can pray for one thing. There is one thing which I'm suggesting, a humble suggestion, which we can pray. We can pray that, my Lord, please, I understand that what is your purpose. And I also have that as my purpose. I want that as my purpose, and which is to come back to you. That's it. There is nothing else in my life which is important. Please, even though I may be getting distracted, I may be getting covered up so much, please give me the strength and the intelligence so that I can do anything and everything to come to you. And please send to my life whatever you think is required or appropriate for me to come to you. Can we do that? If we can pray like that, please send to me whatever you feel is appropriate. Kunti Maharani is saying, send me the distress only. So if we don't pray like that, we can pray, please send to me whatever you think is appropriate. Whether it is to take away something, whether it is to, give something, whatever you think. Please do that. Please do that. So that the only purpose of my life is served, which is to come to you. Which is your only purpose, for which you have created this entire such complex world like that. But remember, if you take away anything, please take me also, because I also belong to you. Right? We can pray like that, yeah? You can take away, because there is no change of ownership in this world, right? Because everything belongs to you, everything belongs to you, everything will belong to you. So what is this taking away? Harishyeta dhanam shane. Actually, it doesn't mean anything, because it was anyway belonging to you. But there's another one person which is belonging to, that's me. So take me also with you. That means my thoughts, my vision, my thoughts, my feelings, my desires, my words, my actions, my habits, my character, my destination, everything, take it to you. Take it with you. Is that a good thing? So we can pray like that, yeah? We can pray like that to the Lord. So if we do like that, then this is something which we could take away from today. As I said, go personal integrately, go personal integrately. We're always thinking Krishna as a person, and we are always praying to him like that. And one final point I want to make is that if we think Krishna's special mercy is only taking away, is that true? Not necessarily. Like Prabhupada said that I was tested twice. First by taking away everything, then by giving everything. Correct? Krishna tested me twice. First by taking everything, then so giving everything, he didn't, after giving everything, it's not that Prabhupada, that Krishna kept taking everything away afterwards. Or let me give more special mercy, more special. No. It doesn't just, he doesn't, it's not, that's a detail in that sense. Because there's a pastime of Lord Vamandev. And in the Vamandev pastime, actually, it is mentioned in 8:22-26 of Srimad Bhagavatam that if a devotee is not proud of his opulences, then Krishna doesn't have to take them away. And that's a special mercy also. It's not that, that's a special mercy also. It's not that that's not special mercy. That's why to Bali Maharaj, to Prahlad Maharaj, he gave everything. Dhruv Maharaj, he gave everything. And he quotes this. And Prabhupada says that here also in the purport, that the conclusion is that one's being deprived of his wealth is not to be considered the special mercy of the Lord. Exactly opposite. It doesn't mean that you have to, the wealth has to be taken away. In one sense, it just doesn't matter. It's a superficial thing. Every circumstance is superficial. We have to go just deeper within to see Krishna's personal hand. Gopi, go personal, intricately, deeply. So if we just see deeper, it's your hand, you have taken away the money. It's your hand, you have given the money. It's your hand, you have taken away people. Because Prabhupada, in this verse, it's also said, I taken up money and the people will also leave you. So he takes away the money, he takes away people, everyone and everything. So this verse is very deep. I'll take away everything and I'll take away everyone. Oh, that's like, but let's understand that he's personal. He will only take away as much as he thinks is absolutely required for me to come to him. He is not going to do anything more, he's not going to do anything less. And only if I allow him to. First I have to allow him, and then he will only do as much. He will not do more or less. We have to believe that. We have to, because he's a perfect person, he's a perfect leader. A perfect leader knows exactly what to do for that person. With that in mind, if we see anything and everything happening in my life, then what is it? It's not just peace, it's happiness. There is no end to them, that happiness. Irrespective of whatever happens in life. There are so many stories in this regard, like that, which are there, where if you see Krishna's hand, there are many. And shall I relate one very little funny story? It's almost out of time here. I was just in London with my brother-in-law, and he was cooking for the deities, and he cooked a pakoda, and in the pakoda they put ginger. So what happened is the ginger, obviously you smash it and all that. Yeah. But what happened is by mistake, this big of the ginger did not get mashed, and it got put in the pakoda. Like imagine this big ginger can be a problem for somebody to eat as soon as he takes a pakoda. Yeah, is that true? Yeah, right? So that ginger got put in. So he was thinking, oh my God, it's like we missed it. And it's like now he couldn't do anything. Now the pakoda is lost amongst the, hundreds or thousands of pakodas which are there. So how could you figure that out? It's gone somewhere, It may have been directly offered to the Lord also, whatever. And then after that Mahatma Prasadam cooking, he comes back. That night, he brings back his little bit of that prasadam, etc. And he's sitting and he said, he had that thing in mind, but then he got only so much of pakoda left, a little bit, and so he said, okay, I got a little pakoda also. Then he got a little bit of pakoda back. So he brought that pakoda back. and then he was eating it. Not even, there was 1/4 of a pakoda actually. It was not even pakoda, it was 1/4 of it. And he started eating that 1/4 of the pakoda. And guess what? You know what I want. It had that ginger in it. The 1/4 of the pakoda amongst the hundreds of pakoda. This is a 2 months back. I mean, if you'd seen, what is the possibility of this happening, first of all? So sometimes things could become very starking. But why is he doing that? Can you imagine how personal he is? Can you imagine how personal Sri Radha Gokulananda in London is? I'm sure you have many stories like that here. Can you imagine the extent to which he goes? So nothing is small. I'll tell another funny story. This is a little funny. I was looking at Govardhan, in Govardhan Eco Village. I was there a few months back, and I looked at some DTs. I looked at some prasadam, Mahaprasadam. I always have the Mahaprasadam there. And that day I thought, well, okay, let me not have the Mahaprasadam today. I already ate a lot and all that. But I'm going to just take the darshan of the Mahaprasadam. That's the darshan. And I literally thought about that for half a minute or so. Let me take the darshan of the Mahaprasadam, and that's how I'm going to honor. So I looked at the Mahaprasadam for like half a minute or something, and then as soon as I had done that, within the next minute or two, I was just, paying some bill there or something like that. And believe it or not, there was a hand coming to my mouth, which was pushing some Mahaprasadam into my mouth. It was my devotee friend, is Balaram, and he pushed a Mahaprasad into my mouth. And I said, why are you doing that? So he said, oh, well, I just wanted to offer you some Mahaprasad. So he gave me Mahaprasad, which is like, are you following me what I'm saying? There's basically, I thought, okay, I wanted to, but I wanted to just, okay, let me do some austerity, not to. But Krishna gave me that time. I'm just saying that there are very, very small things in life, or can be very, very big things in life. But for Krishna, it is not small or big. Everything is big. A smallest incident can take you to your Goloka Vrindavan, because you remember that. You can remember that ginger piece and go back to God. It doesn't have to be, so Krishna doesn't have to take away everything. He doesn't have to give. All of that is superficial. From Bali Maharaj, he will take everything, then he will give everything. What's happening? What is happening? So it's not, that's such a detail. He's just showing that you see that I am there. That's the point. I am there and I am perfect. Do you believe this? I am perfectly personal. You have no idea to how personal I am. You have no idea. If you had an idea, because about God, you cannot fathom it. He's saying, you have no idea. You've seen personal people. A mother is personal, let's say, right? How personal if a mother is that person, how personal can I get? You have no idea. That's what he's saying by these things. Is not. So that's the extent to which he can go. There is no end to the extent which he can go. If we see this, that's Krishna consciousness. And if you can see that, so Krishna, when Prabhupada faced difficulties in life, he said it's a love fight. Krishna and I, love fight. He was down on the street, he had nothing, he had heart attacks, all of that, about to die and all of that. But there you go, this is Krishna. Personally, his love, that's why we are praising him like anything now. He didn't have to, that was not because of his pride, that was just to glorify him. If he had everything good, then we won't glorify him. This is personal. Everything is personal. That's why Gopi. Go personal, intricately. Let's just go personal, intricately. There is nothing else. Let's offer obeisance to Srila Prabhupada and Sripad Madhvacharya, who were bashing this point so deeply. Because if I see Krishna everywhere and see everything in him, Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvam Chamai Pashyati Tasyaham Sachmena Pranashyati, right? I will never be lost to you, you'll never be lost to you, you'll come back to me. I have to just see me everywhere. See me as a person. The best. What is better in life? What's better? That's the most optimistic, the bestest thing, that if I know that the top is the bestest person. Is it true or not? Everybody else leading a pessimistic nonsense life. The devotee is leading the most ecstatic life because he knows, right? In a company, if you know the topmost person is the best, there you go, you will be happy or not. If you know the father is the best person, you will be happy or not. If you know the temple president is the best person, you will be happy. And any leader is the best person, you will be happy or not. So this is not just a formula for peace, but for happiness. Knowing that the person at the top is the best person. Doesn't matter what happens in life. Doesn't matter what doesn't matter what. That's it. Hopefully a little bit of this goes into me, and forgive me for any mistakes or any corrections or comments are welcome. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Stunned silence. Any comments? You are beating me with that instruction regularly. Thank you. I hope that was relevant, yeah? I hope that was relevant. I tried to make it relevant to myself.